Geek Dad Life presents live reactions to Season 3 of The Mandalorian. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to live reactions on Mandalorian. My name is Jay, and with me on this journey of reclaiming Mandalore, I don't know, that I've lost track of what the whole point of the season is, are my good friends Matt and Ralph. Gentlemen, how are you?
I think it's just talking about things that are all Bo-Katan. That's the point of the season.
You're right. It's Bo heavy.
Bo-Katan season. Yeah.
It's Bo-Katan season. But tonight we actually have special guests with us.
What? This is the first I'm hearing of this. Special guests? Did they just drop by?
They're knocking on the door right now.
Oh, okay. Let them in.
A doorbell sound.
Come on, Paul McCartney.
I do need a doorbell sound. But before we bring them in, let's say hello to the chat. We've got Toy Gigasaurus, Dartherian, Charlie Weaver, Riley Bob, Mr. Crispix, Dan is here. BTG is in the house. Judy's here, and Tommy the Duck as well. So we got a hopping house to talk Mando tonight, and but we have special guests like Matt alluded to that he just heard for the first time. We've got the fantastic gentleman from the Holdo Maneuver podcast. Say that 5 times fast. Oh darn it! I was gonna put in there. Hold on, I had this timed up a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Putting in the chat right now. So please give them a follow and a subscribe. We've got Marc, Vibberts, and Mike.
I won't let you say my last name. It's too hard.
Is it there on your little @ symbol there? Hold on. It's oh wait, got cut off there. Yeah, I can't see there. Nope, still a little too
This is a new
we're moving and shaking.
I like this square thing, to be honest.
Yeah,
this looks okay. This actually looks better than the
3.
Three of
Yeah.
us.
The
When
3
it's
is
just
just
our
like
faces.
too close. It's like, hello,
But you're kind of missing this guy back here.
Yeah, but this all these little things that Ralph made for this show, it kind of cuts off the bottom. There we go. Michael Soren.
Sauron.
Like Soren, California.
Sure, is that the place?
It's like the best ride to Disneyland. Anyway, all right. So this, well, I guess for starters, you all do a Star Wars a podcast. You have a YouTube channel.
I do. Y'all.
But yeah, like what's like before we get into this episode, what are your all's thoughts on this season of Mandalorian so far? Because Ralph, Matt, and I have been talking about it a lot already.
Well, I heard you when we were backstage say like you don't know what the hell's going on, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt that way after last week. I was like, what is going on this season?
Mm-hmm.
So I was glad when this episode kind of like was like, oh, that's what's going on again.
Yeah. That's fair. I feel like at least the narrative presented itself a little bit clearer today, which is good. Marc, how about you?
I am generally easy to please, and also generally just try to be overly positive about things that I watch. So I guess a lot of times, anytime I've seen other like, you know, the online discourse of stuff, I'm usually like, oh, am I the one that is weird with this? But I don't know. I've been enjoying it.
I can say this, like our show, I don't know if you heard of it, live action Star Wars.
Never heard of that one before.
Like we try to stay positive as well. And I also feel like I'm in the sort of minority when it comes to fans who like Star Wars.
I never said I didn't enjoy it. I just felt it was
I know, but just as far as the online discourse goes, like there's always something to complain about. There's also something to celebrate, which is great.
That's why I like Star Wars Celebration personally. But no, to me it's it's not that I haven't enjoyed this. It's actually I've enjoyed it as like a show I can watch with my kids. Like we're having a good time. Like I don't think anything's bad necessarily.
Right.
I think we just all the Mandalorians just training in the desert and like shooting into the water, and it's just like, what are we doing here? Like what's
Yeah, but there was Ahmed Best.
It's true.
It's true.
This is true.
And there's those moments like, okay, I love this, but then it's like, well, what are we doing? The Mandalorians are kind of boring. But I feel like at least there was some action and some main storyline. I think, you brought through the whole Dr. Pershing storyline, at least connected beyond just that one little bit.
Which I touted was my favorite episode of Mandalorian.
Well, you did.
There was story stuff and world building. But then last week when I saw Ahmed Best, Misa best friend,
Ralph, do you have the picture handy?
It is now framed and posted
there
on
it
the
is
wall.
right there. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did that yesterday.
Man, it's like
It was planned.
So when that happened last week, I was like, this is my favorite episode of Mando because it was so great.
Mm-hmm.
This week, on the other hand, was my favorite episode of Mando.
Oh.
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It was so good. I don't know what's happening to me this season where Mando's clicking with me a lot more because I feel like there actually is a focus.
Yes.
It's just not on Din. It's mostly
Right.
on Bo. And I like Bo, like might be my favorite Star Wars character right now.
Damn. Okay.
I really like her.
I guess back that up. I mean, or at least expand on that for me. Because I've always loved the Catans. Is Satine's last
Even Chris?
name Catan? Or just Satine?
no, not Satine. She's not part of the.
Oh, okay. But they're sisters, right? Aren't they like sisters?
No, they're not sisters. Sorry.
I thought they were sisters. I thought that was the whole thing.
But they're best friends, right?
The Duchess is her sister, and she got murdered in Clone Wars. Satine is part of Clan Kreese, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Well, isn't that Bo-Katan's last name?
Oh no, Bo-Katan is part of Clan Kreese. Satine is part of Clan Ren, and I'm just pulling that out of my
And
memory.
Sabine is
Oh, Sabine. Maybe Sabine is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, Satine and Sabine. Sorry, I get those confused.
Wait, now
I'm
I'm
just
confused. I don't know.
I'm just gonna take a back seat here, fellas. Let me
Wait,
just.
who's
bow
the one
out
that's
here.
Obi-Wan's lover?
Satine.
Satine.
I'm
she's
sorry.
named
I gotta-
after she's named after the person
The
from Moulin
cracker.
Rouge.
Yeah, the Cracker, the saltine.
Mm.
the saltine. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna hear. I'll just.
I like that Matt has like the most information. It might not be right, but he has the most. He comes at it with confidence.
Mark, you were shaking your head that yes, I was right. Can you give some clarity here to this? Is now I'm confused.
Yeah, Satine
We're going all over the place.
is a Kryze. She is related to Bo-Katan.
Thank you.
They were sisters.
Yes, thank you, Matt.
I was thinking
Boy.
of Sabine, and the fact that Sabine and Satine. I'm sorry. It's a letter.
Matt, you're now on trial as a Star Wars fan. At risk.
Were you going to say Sabine is a knight of Ren?
I'm just gonna take myself out of this again.
No,
No, you can't.
I am not here to be put on trial or extradited. Look, I just got one thing mixed up. I didn't
It's
have my
fine, it's
coffee
fine.
right before
It's
the show.
early. You got more time to mix more up.
I do, and Ralph is here for it.
I love
Listen,
it. I love
Matt,
talking to you guys so much.
We all love you, and you are loved. And it's easy to get confused because you confused me. I was like, wait, am I wrong? Is Sabine the other one? Anyway,
There is to go back to some confusion, which I'm clear on it, but I think just with the time jumping around, you know, like we saw this that rock formation and the peak, you know, like, and that was like the whole scenes with like Coruscant and that setup. It finally pays off in this episode. You know, we were some fans were kind of down on that. You know, I think, you know, Ralph, that was definitely his favorite episode up until this episode. It was the third episode, right?
Actually, I really liked that one until they just kind of fried his brain, and I was like, oh, well, then what was the
Right. What was
Yeah,
the
what was
point? But I think
we'll find out.
it did pay off in this, where we had this punch where like all of a sudden you're just like, when you see him in that office and you see her, you're like, get out of there. You don't want anything to do with her. Like, you already know she's a villain.
Yeah.
And I like, and so to me it was like, aha, like that. Yes. Like, I like it when the world building pays off.
Yes.
Not that it was just world building for world building's sake.
Right.
It's like, no, this character now is a threat. And we even feel that when he's in there. We're like, Tim Meadows, cool.
Yeah.
Like, who else was like fist pumping in the air? We're just so excited about Tim Meadows.
That's the Cavassier, right?
Yeah. My kids were just like, why is Dad so happy about this person? So
Tim Meadows was just the DMV worker in that episode.
Right. But I mean, I'm glad that they got him a good job. So
That's the stuff I like. That's the stuff I like so much. Like, I liked it in Andor and I liked it in this. Like, how do you like? We all like. How does the galaxy run? Well, there's like a princess, and then there's like an emperor. But I like paperwork stuff. I find fascinating. Andor was amazing for that. Yeah, and so the Pershing episode kind of felt like that, but this. Just the scene in the office, like I'm like, I kind of want more of that, guys.
We all just want
no more blasters.
Just Star Wars Office, right?
Right.
It just goes to the Office, Star Wars edition.
There's this sense that the people that critique the sequel series, like, oh well, how do the Empire, whatever? There's some new Empire replaced, the New Republic that fast, and what I've enjoyed is just showing like how much the New Republic is struggling and
it's not it's a whole galaxy,
right.
Like our country is on one planet and it can't get its crap together. They're talking about how many planets how many planets are in the Star Wars galaxy,
how many rims are there, like
I know they only talk about the one,
but what I love though is it switched the that whole Pershing thing is like, oh, that wasn't a Pershing episode. That was what's the character's name again?
Something Kane.
Yeah.
Elia Kane.
Elia Kane, played by the wonderful Katie O'Brien. But it kind of just made it. I was like, it retroactively said, oh, that's her story. It's not Pershing's story. And it's showing her as like this big baddie that they're gonna have to face. And so Mark and Mike, like, what's your thoughts on Katie, or not Katie, but the actor Elia Kane being this kind of maybe is she a big bad, or is she somebody that now is a threat to our heroes in the show?
I'll defer to Mark first. I've been talking a lot more than him.
That's usually how it goes. I think with her it might definitely be like a slow kind of build with her, because they had her like before when Moff Gideon, like with Moff Gideon on there. So I think that might also, like Mike and I had talked about this last night, but I think thinking about it a little bit more, I think she might have also had some hand in, we haven't gotten to talking about it yet, but like that kind of tag at the end of the episode where I think that she might have something to do possibly with like making it seem like Mandalorians were responsible for taking Moff Gideon out of that transport, but I think she possibly had something to do with that. She's doing a good job at like working like the background and appearing innocent to everybody else, but definitely not.
Go ahead, Matt.
Oh no! You just brought up the Beskar and that whole mystery.
Let's hold that. I want to say.
Okay, all right, we'll save that. I'm going to write that down. I have a couple other notes too.
Perfect. Just let's write those down. Again, Sabine and Satine, two different characters.
I'm writing that down
about
for
the shuttle
future reference.
She's definitely bad. I don't know if she's a big bad.
Okay.
During the doctor episode, I was like, at the end, I was like, that was like her job was to fool him to see if he could be trusted.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, or maybe it was her job to get that cloning stuff because they don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's like she played her job,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like a mole inside whatever.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
she's definitely evil. I always got that sense from her from the get-go. There's something amiss about her.
I just love how they brought in, essentially this, just an Imperial officer, like just a nameless Imperial officer,
Mhm.
and then elevated her into this more impactful role. And she's been able to kind of skate through the bureaucracy because she was, just an officer, but clearly is capable of a lot more. And I think that's really fascinating from a story perspective. Ralph, it looked like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I want to talk about that shuttle some more. Whoa, I got the full screen. I'm going to say I totally agree that the Mandalorians were framed. I think she helped. She's working with Moff Gideon. I think she was sent to sort of get what Pershing was. I'm agreeing with Mike 100%. But I think Gideon's working for Thrawn.
Okay,
and I think it's going to start setting up the First Order.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think she's sort of like, I don't know if she's freelance, but I feel like her allegiance is still to the Empire or whatever remnants of the Empire are there. So, so I'm assuming we've got to get Thrawn. So I'm assuming the chain of command is like Gideon, and Gideon has his minions. One of them were Pershing. Pershing sort of outstayed his welcome, but there was still some stuff they needed to get out of him. She got that stuff, got Gideon, and are probably working under Thrawn. I mean, if we see Thrawn, I mean, that's going to be super awesome.
Matt, you have something to say here. Do you think we'll get Thrawn this season, or is that going to stay for Ahsoka?
I think that makes sense as a season cliffhanger for season 3 for this show, because Luke really upped the ante at the end of last season, and we haven't really, last season we also had Ahsoka, and there hasn't been an Ahsoka.
Hey, we got Zeb in this episode.
We did. I'm not knocking it. I'm
Ahsoka, the show's coming out in a couple months.
Yeah,
right.
Like we're there. They definitely set something up in this episode.
It's directed by this episode's director too.
Right. So Zeb, yes, is in this. I don't know why but the Thrawn would be a good card to play though, as it ends, and then you set up Ahsoka and you have that whole storyline so that people are interested, like, oh, we're gonna get more of this, and and seeing how they did Zeb was really great. Like, I just want to say, like, they did it. Like,
it looked good.
There are characters on here and creatures on here that I've been like the pirate. I hate the pirate's mask and his face. Like, I know the visual effects in it.
Not the Swamp Thing one. You mean the one with the
weird beak? Like, it just.
I thought you meant old Greg.
I don't mind Shard, even if he got charred, but his voice didn't make sense. I know I had to fit those two together, but his voice never made sense. Like he seemed like it was too nice or something. Like, not that everything has to be gravelly, but he didn't seem menacing enough. Like, he was just like, "Hey guys, guess what?" It wasn't that.
Everything's got to be the gritty version of something.
Can I ask the question?
Well, that would have actually been more interesting than what we got, because it was just in the middle, right? His voice is just basic, and it needs to be different. And
you wanted was it Bill Nye,
Davy Jones?
I don't need that. It could be something different, but just not what we got. Sorry, that's my
Jack Sparrow.
I don't want that. That's too. So, but anyway.
Riley Bob asked a great question here. Is this becoming a new Star Wars trope, with seasons consisting of decent story filling 10-ish minutes per episode and lots of filler leading to a great last 2 episodes? Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan. Thoughts on
not
this?
Andor.
Not Andor. Andor worked in like
Andor's
triplets. Like, it worked in threes, in a way that was really.
But Andor was a different set of people. So.
It was.
Yeah.
Andor seems to be an outlier for sure.
I mean, this is exactly what I would have said season 2 and season 1, but for some reason this season it's grabbing me, and I think it's because, like with Din, he's kind of a blank slate, and he's sort of designed that way to be a blank slate. like from the mask and everything, and
Yeah.
and what made him interesting in the pilot episode was that he found a child, and all of a sudden this guy who's this sort of blank slate has this thing to take care of.
Yes.
And 2 seasons later, he's still just that guy who needs to take care of the kid. So but with this season, with it following Bo-Katan so much, I really like her character because she's struggling. She is between two worlds, as it were. And I like that. I like to see characters with sort of conflict, and they're multifaceted. That's what I like about Elia Kane. Like, she's very mysterious. She clearly is like former Imperial. We know that.
Yes.
But she also, like, some of the stuff she says in the office is truth. Like, the New Republic is like fumbling around with this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, say what you will about the Empire, there was some structure in there, and you guys need to have structure. I get it, but maybe don't go to the extreme.
Hold on, are you saying they need some order?
Yes. 100%. 100%. But that's the thing. I find order. I find all this more compelling than, and I use the example, a whole episode dedicated to fighting a Mudhorn. Or we had one a couple weeks ago where they were just fighting a dragon.
Yeah.
So any kind of character stuff I'm here for, because I find that compelling. You can't just do action all the time. You get fatigue. For me, like the last 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, where it was just like a Rancor fight, like I'm just like, I'm tired. Like, I want to know more about. I'd rather know more about Boba Fett and the Sand People than fighting a Rancor for two episodes.
I was just gonna do that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like this. I feel like even though it doesn't center around Din, I find this season more compelling because we are getting into the meat of what's going on in the New Republic, because we never knew that. I'm sure people have read books and there's aftermath and stuff like that, but we haven't seen it in live action Star Wars, not the show, the concept. But so I've been enjoying it. I think I like this focus. And I don't know about like the filler stuff. I guess
Ralph,
I don't know. I think
fun stuff.
But the thing is, the action in this episode was, I thought, really well done. I thought the action in this episode was way more well done than the dragon fight stuff.
To me, I thought the action was fine. I think there was just the moments in between that felt a little disjointed or disconnected, where like this whole town is being blown up. And it's this town full of people. It's like a really alive town. And then when they go to their little cave, there's like 10 people. I'm like, wait, is this the whole town? I mean, I don't think it's as dark as they were all killed, but I just would have thought there'd been more people that were like part of it.
They were raining down a lot of,
I guess, a lot of missiles or whatever. I just felt like there would have been more. I love Hook, and I've said it before, but it's kind of the Hook problem where you have 10 Lost Boys and then 30 Lost Boys, and it just felt kind of weird.
And I always say that's the least of Hook's problems.
Hey, you
do not blaspheme on Hook.
More like Rufy.
Hook
No,
out your mother mouth.
Love the score.
It's a great film.
Love this score.
Underrated film.
Thank you, Mike. Because of that, I'm giving you the floor. What's your thoughts on it?
On what now? What am I talking about?
I don't know. Ralph's saying that he likes
Lost on Hook.
He's enjoying, I guess, the through line of the Bo-Katan story as the focus instead of Din Djarin. Like,
I agree 100% with that. I did not expect to get that this season, but the second I saw her all pissed off sitting on that throne, I was like, that was the best part of episode 1. And then it just became her story. And I have my own problems with religion, being indoctrinated into it at a young age, and like finding it just speaks to me because she grew up with it. Din didn't. Din was like, this saved me, so this makes sense. And she was like, this ruined me. So, and now it's that whole storyline is great, and I love the character development they have with Bo. Din has flattened out. I've felt they kind of nerfed him this season. He hasn't had the same swagger as he had in past seasons.
I mean, they've had given him a couple moments, but you're right.
Like, how do you walk into the bathing waters and just face plant? Like, aren't you supposed
there was no more stairs
because he
ran out of stairs.
He ran out of stairs, and that I think lends itself to the blind faith that he has.
Yeah, it's just,
you know what I mean.
It's
Like,
true.
he just
Good
he's
illusion.
just like, oh, and it takes a person that's kind of like, dude, you will drown.
Yeah.
You know, to save someone like that. So
he's never swam before.
To me, I liked the dynamic of those two in that on Mandalore, and I've always wanted to get back to that kind of more stripped down. I think Mandalorian, and on some level, you know, when it's a little bit more stripped down with him as a character, is when we really do enjoy the show. And and you're right, there is a little bit of nerfing him, or he's been sidelined, and maybe this season is Bo's season.
Yeah.
Bo for Toy Story fans.
Yep.
Although I guess in the Star Wars universe, he would be nerf herded.
Nerf.
Yes.
I thought we were allowed to say
fair.
that.
No, I like that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that's their word.
Yeah, it's, I gave you a dry. Did you? I'll do it again. That was really good. Well done, Mark. Thoughts here. Din is in conservative dad mode, teacher, not hero.
Yeah.
I can agree that he's mostly just trying to protect Grogu.
Yeah.
At this point, and also showing Grogu off.
Yes. Make me proud, son.
Yeah, like with the Mandalorian paintball.
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all that.
You know, Mark, as a father too, is he like 18 now? Like what?
Oh, yeah, he's 17. He'll be 18 later this year, but yeah. He's as tall as two 18-year-olds on top of each other's shoulders.
He's so tall. What happened?
He could probably also be another stand-in for Chewbacca if there's ever another.
That's all that Arizona heat. It just makes you grow.
It's crazy.
But I mean,
you need to get a stepladder to like mark the door jamb.
Oh yeah,
the pencil.
No, but I definitely have to do this when I talk to him now.
Oh man,
weird.
That's crazy. But you know, like, can a dad be cool, like a badass, you know, Western hero and a good dad at the same time, or is Din kind of, is that there's no way for him to be both?
I guess it depends on the kind of parent you'd want to be, because you could either be, I don't know. Din definitely started one way, like the way that we saw him in like that first season where he had like the line like you can either come in warm or cold. Yeah. But now he'd be saying that same thing to Grogu, but he's like, you can either eat your food warm or you can eat it.
He likes it cold.
You're gonna eat that pop.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. And to be honest, it was cool when in the Book of Boba Fett, like his episode before like Grogu showed up, he got to be a badass again and like totally clear out that mob in the you know freezer group, and then like he got to be like badass Din Djarin again. Pretty much until Grogu came back.
And I don't know for like the Yoda Yaddle Grogu species, like what equivalent age would be like teenage. Like equivalency, kind of.
He's supposedly 75 right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the same way, kind of like I guess like dog years work, where like like a 2-year-old dog is like close to being like
14.
Yeah, like a 14-year-old teenager. Whereas, so like when Grogu is like, I don't know, 100 years old, then he's in his teenage years. That's when he won't think Din's cool anymore. But like right now, he's still under like the age of like 12 human years. So he's like, yeah, my dad's awesome. He's pretty cool.
Get him, Dad.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten to the point where like, get away from me.
He'll throw him.
Don't kiss me on the cheek in public.
And you know, I think where is it at here? Yeah, Andy Silva. I mean, Han's a cool dad in canon. At least until Ben turns into the comic. But actually, Han's kind of a crappy dad, isn't that like the whole thing?
Yeah.
He's so bad.
He was only a cool dad when he was in Carbonite.
Oh, damn. Oh, the dad jokes are on point tonight.
I feel left out. I feel excluded.
Mike, do you have children? Is it like 4 to 1 here?
Yep, I have one child.
Yeah,
4-year-old.
Sorry,
Do you
Ralph.
do you have a quarter scale statue of Kyle Rayner? Because that's as big as a child.
If I had it, my child would have destroyed it.
There it is, Ralph. There's your child, Ralph. I want to see the child.
It's that big.
Oh my god. Anyway, but yeah, I think or Charlie Weaver, Din's a hockey dad. Hey, come here and fight this kid.
I love that.
And they do already sell all that merch that says the Dadalorian on it too. So
yeah. I think maybe it's just for all the parents out there, it's like we can be cool, we can be badass and parents. Come on, Disney, give us some credit.
Well, so I mean, he's training him as a warrior. So yes, he is a dad on some level, an adoptive father, but you know, he's still taking him along. This is the only thing he can think of. Like, I'm going to train you, you know, in the way that I think, you know, that you should be raised, by taking you in the middle of a dogfight. You know, I'm gonna, you know, he's clearly, you know, he's going to protect him, but you know, he probably also thinks the safest place for you is next to me. Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's probably what they do with their foundlings, right? Isn't it? They ride along.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what happened to the machine gun Kelly guy. You know, his kid's already been trying to eat him twice by like monsters. So
I love that. Like, I had a picture of Machine Gun Kelly in my mind, and I was like, that doesn't connect. It's like, okay, I guess it kind of connects.
I'm talking about the Jon Favreau.
Yeah, I was like, he's not some skinny, messed out looking blonde guy.
You don't know he doesn't take his helmet off.
I like that part played out though. The whole aspect of that Mandalorian and him standing up and basically saying like, "Hey, look, I've had my beefs with this guy. Yeah, I wanted to punch his legs out, you know, but this is the time."
This is the time.
This is the time. But I also want to point out that this episode also does the one thing that I've been kind of keeping track of. Each episode, we see a little crack in the armor's armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of weird that she's like, okay, new rule, guys. This person walks 2 worlds. The world between worlds? Who knows? Yeah.
I don't like the world between worlds. I really don't.
Well, I love the world between worlds.
Let's talk about the whole armor of it all in a second. Yeah. Charlie Weaver has a comment related to that. Do y'all think Paz and the armor are bumping helmets and Ragnar is their biological son?
That had crossed my mind for sure.
Well, how can they have kids? They're always wearing protection.
They're bumping helmets.
He quite literally said.
I know.
They don't. The rule is helmet stays on. The rest can come off.
Yeah.
As long
as
an additional helmet we don't know about.
The additional helmet.
But I think a lot of people are shipping Bo and the armorer. People are shipping Bo and Din.
I know someone that's shipping Bo and me.
I think there's a lot of men
out there
shipping Bo and themselves.
And me? Oh, damn.
Is that you?
I thought you meant specifically me. Well, that's weird.
So it is true. The armor had a lot in this episode. She had a badass kind of fight scene with the wrench and the hammer, like going straight up, like pulling nose hairs out of that one guy. It's like, and then you have this scene with her and Bo where she's just like, "Do you trust me? Take your helmet off." And
did you think Marc was going to take her helmet off?
I did. I totally did.
Yeah. And then
I thought she'd be, look, I'll do it.
And then they were going to kiss, right? Because that's what I was thinking was going to happen.
My brother thought the same thing. I never had any inkling that the armor was going to take off.
I didn't think she would, but I was like, maybe she's going to as a shock to us. Like,
I just thought she was trying to trick Bo in some way to be like, you took it off.
Yeah.
Now you gotta leave.
That's what I thought, Mark. I thought
Ace Ventura when Easter calls, you're out.
Yep. You're out of here.
But I did like that whole twist, and yet it's another crack in the armor's truth. You know, it's like what rules are we making here? Right. And not only that, but like they did stand with Din. They did end up finding a whole new coven, basically.
Mhm.
What do they call it? It's not a
Covert,
covert.
Culvert.
Culvert.
Culvers?
It is a cult.
Ooh,
Colt's what you're looking for.
And Mike,
I
to
want to go
your
to
point,
Culver's.
Mike, to your point about religion, like, I mean, that has been a hard part of the season for me. It's like, oh, I'm buying into this religion.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with Jedis, but this is another kind of religion I'm not sure if I'm like, completely on board with.
They both take kids.
Yeah, it's true.
Both takes, right?
They both take the kids.
And train them into warriors. So,
Right.
I mean, that's just Lucas's fault. That's not any of our faults. Really.
that's not
a sick mind. Go ahead, Mark.
I was going to just say, speaking of the armor, I've been saying this to Mike, as that I think I still have this whole like theory that with the armor is like part of like the Mandalorians, from like that part of like the Clone Wars, because specifically because she has the horns on her helmet, and that's why I think she has like some kind of weird ulterior motive. I know at this point Maul is definitely dead, because it's like after Return of the Jedi at this point, but
or is he?
Yeah. But much like, I'm gonna reference the classic film The Lion King 2 here, where Skarsgård sect of followers like wanted to come back and take over Pride Rock still, or where the armor could be like this leftover kind of Maul sect that is trying to come back and basically do what he was trying to do back during the Clone Wars.
I love that.
So, I don't know.
All I have to say to that is deception, disgrace, evil as a scar on his face. That's Frozen now. Lion King 2 bops, as the kids say. It's a great film. You don't like Lion King 2 is good, okay?
My kid did not agree.
What?
She watched Lion King 1.
Yeah.
Turned on Lion King 2. She's like, "Can we watch something else?"
Here's where you messed up, Mike.
You got hot topic Simba and Cobra.
Here's the thing. You messed up. Even though I know it's not chronological, you should have done 1.5.
Oh, sorry.
Pumbaa's perspective, then go into 2.
She didn't even get to 1 and a. She hadn't seen that yet. I forgot about 1.5.
Matt's like, I'm out.
Right.
But I think I think that's I don't know. To me, and Colleen said it here too. I still think the armor is the real bad guy.
Agreed.
So everybody here thinks the armor is the bad guy.
She's the leader of a cult.
Okay, that's fair.
But is she the leader, or is she just the person like taking place of the leader until the real leader shows up?
Or is she the Allison Mack?
Oh man!
Ooh, yikes! There he is.
I'm back. I was just checking on something.
Oh,
check on
We
group.
went and watched Lion King 1.5.
That's all it takes. It's a short film.
Just watched a YouTube video that explained the plot. Hey.
So
my only other beef is Grief Cart.
Wait, just real quick, Matt.
Grief Cart.
I don't know if we've like landed on. I don't think the armor is a bad guy, and everybody else is thinking.
Yeah.
I'm on the fence. I won't
bring it up this point.
I'm leaning bad. I don't know 100%.
Leaning bad. Ralph and Marc are like bad, bad all the way. Matt, where do you land on this?
Bad.
Oh,
with good intentions.
Ah, boo! Pick a side.
No, it's the hell is paved with good intentions. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. No, she's bad. I think she's
What
bad.
are you, an opening of a Clone Wars episode?
She's bad. She's in charge of this whole cult. She's in charge of
No, listen, Matt. Your response should be only a Sith deals in absolutes.
That's also,
but it's also an absolute. Yeah.
Oh shit! Damn it!
Wait, so is Obi-Wan a Sith? No.
I mean, he didn't have to hack up Anakin like that. He could have just killed him.
He could have put him out of his misery. That is true.
Could have saved the universe a lot.
You're my brother.
Although the Emperor would have still lived and done whatever he wanted to do.
He would have been cloned 6,000 times.
Somehow.
Yeah, somehow Vader has returned.
Darth Vader.
Okay,
with
a lot more people in the chat think she's not bad. We got Mutagen Ooze says she isn't bad. Charlie Weaver thinks she's not bad.
Okay.
Who's bad? Thunderhouse Design. It's not a cult. It's just dogma. Jedi aren't a cult. They're just too rigid in their beliefs. Armor sees she can't be that strict. That's how I kind of read it. It's just like, okay, clearly this person who didn't have her helmet all the time saw a mythosaur. So clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. So let's try something else. That's how I kind of read it.
Okay. All right, but most, you're kind of dumbing down the villainy part. I mean, the villainy part is like, she's like, oh, now that I have this person under my control, I can send her out.
Right.
She's like the Emperor, and Bo-Katan's like Vader going out to like bring her more.
Maybe the armor is just Palpatine.
Oh shit!
How could we have not seen this?
Yes. Somehow the armor is Palpatine.
Somehow the armor is Palpatine. That should be a meme.
It may be in Screen memes. I don't know yet. I haven't looked at them, even though Colleen did them a couple days ago. But yeah, I think I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I just saw it as, but maybe that's just too linear of thinking about it. And maybe she does have ulterior motives.
So she's gonna go out and recruit some other Mandalores that don't wear their helmets, and then she's gonna bring them back so that they are forced to wear their helmets. I don't know.
No, you're gonna have a civil war of Mandalorians on Navarro. Helmets versus
again.
It's like poetry at rhymes.
Yeah.
If you get like a ton of these Mandalorians like hanging out, like, are there enough rocks for them to go hide behind when they eat?
That's true.
Yeah. We're gonna run out of rocks. Where these guys
we had that
eat?
conversation last night. Why don't they just sit back to back so they can't see each other? And just
how far away do they have to walk from each other so that they can't be in each other's peripheral vision? As they're eating.
The back-to-back thing makes sense, though. Like Forrest Gump. You just lean against me.
Yeah, just have a four, like where they're.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like a spokes. Yeah.
Okay, Thunderhouse Design with this theory. I like this. So Axe Woves and Koska Reeves are the mercenaries that freed Gideon.
Ooh, that'd be a good twist.
Interesting. I didn't think that she was.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that. Because this episode did end on because there's a moment of like Bo-Katan without her helmet. She's gonna unite the Mandalorians and we're gonna take back Mandalore. And she had the Superman pose, wind kind of blowing in her hair, and then cut to black. It's like, damn, that's a good heroic end to this episode. But wait.
There's more.
We had Paul Sun Young Lee, who is just a fantastic actor in his own right. Also a big toy collector, and he has a fantastic YouTube channel. Bitter Asian Dude. Also friends with Yes Have Some is on their show a lot. But anyway, he's kind of
plugging a lot of shows.
What's that?
He hasn't mentioned mine once. You're plugging a lot of shows. You haven't mentioned mine
You've
once.
plugged your own show. I think you're good.
I'm surprised. I'm sure
You're
Paul
done.
would. I'm sure Paul would do your show, Ralph, if you just asked him.
All right, I'll ask.
I've got a show that I want to plug. It's called Plug.
It's
I
called
don't think I want to
Socket.
watch that show.
You'll get your chance to plug live action Star Wars, a
fine.
YouTube
It's
channel
fine.
dedicated to live action
Never heard of
Star
it.
Wars that you can find at liveactionstarwars.com later on in the episode.
But is it live?
Cue the music. No.
Yeah. Oh man.
Wait, I just saw a kaiju. No. I'm getting
Oh my God,
lost.
I have so many.
That's incredible. What was Invincible?
Like the Lost Reference.
Invincipod. Damn it, I messed it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Podcast.
the Beskar though in the ship, other people have had Beskar, right? Like, I mean, that one.
Yes.
Well, wasn't
So
Okay, can I just say before we get into that? Could
I'm just-
R2 units do the little drone thing in space the whole time?
The whole time.
Some could, I guess.
That's what I took it as, Mike. It's
Yeah,
not
just
like
like-
all R2s can.
Just like how
Well, it
R2
seems like-
always had the jetpacks on his
Yeah, he had the
legs.
jetpacks.
Well, they
Well,
ran out of
something-
fuel eventually.
Something just popped in my head when Matt was saying
Just
talking about the Beskar, and Mandalorians are the only ones that have access to Beskar because in season
the
1,
Beskar thing. I
I was
want to
gonna
say
say.
this R2 drone thing. Well, give me
Oh,
a second
no.
on this.
Yes, I'm winning.
it's fine. R2s can do
I
that.
think it's cool. That's all I'm saying. And I love a green. I guess he said R5. I guess he's an R5 unit. or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
That
the
is what it
R5s
says.
had the detachable probe units.
That's what you get with an R4 unit versus R2.
Mm. The R6s had the vibrating probes.
Go on.
Go on.
Those were only
You
used on
piqued some interest.
Jabba's sail barge, though.
I always kind of thought though that that they could have these interchangeable domes or parts, that they could,
R7.
all the little things we've seen on R2 units. We've seen one is a storage compartment for a lightsaber. We've seen one that's a sort of
Cigarette lighter.
periscope.
Yeah.
But so it's like, why not? Let's start exploring the other ones. Like
Yeah.
maybe they do a bunch of stuff. But I think a probe makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was cool. I really
Yeah.
dug it. I was just like, that's really neat.
it was
Plus,
it
something
made
else
me
can sell
feel
at
like it
Droid
was an
Depot.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead. What were you
I was
saying?
just gonna say sorry. It's something else they can sell at Droid Depot at Galaxy's Edge.
Exactly. It's like next
Yeah.
time I go, I want that.
But it also
You
made
want
me
a
feel like it was in a
droid
Star Wars movie again, where something new about an R2 unit's being revealed to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Like that just goes back to it's like, oh, there's something cool happening to an R2 unit. So
All right, fine. Enough about the dongles because they're taking the.
no, I
apple
want to talk
approach.
about the R2 units. Do you think there's a cigarette
Dongles.
lighter? Like, is there like a VHS?
He's got the little
recorder?
flame thing that pops
Yeah.
out.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's
Mhm.
a cigarette
Well,
lighter.
Phoebe does it.
Okay, now we can talk about the best.
I miss when you could just smoke casually anywhere. In movies,
Right? Yeah, you just like
restaurants.
R2. I need a
You
light.
can. It's just you get yelled at now.
All
You
right,
go
so
home and rethink your life.
the probe scans and finds a piece of Beskar. Like I felt plant the whole time. I was like, Best, you can't just like blast off a piece of Beskar. That's not how that works, right?
Well, that's how the armor and Paz Vizsla made his son, right? He blasted off a piece of Beskar.
With a probe.
Yeah. You just
Well,
used
some
his dark
jizz belling
saber.
is going in the background.
It's not me. It's not me. So
I mean, he was pretty good using the dark saber, so I mean,
Din is not. He just flops it around.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Bravo. Because I was just like, this is clearly a plant the whole time because Mandalorians hate Moff Gideon. He's the one that like nuked their whole planet into oblivion. So when I see in the chat people are saying, oh, well, Moff Gideon's going to lead his own little army of Mandalorians, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. What Mandalorians would want to do that?
Dark Watch.
so
But isn't that what the armor is?
the only thing with this that I could see outside of what I said earlier was that possibly Paz Vizsla went after him because they had that thing like in the recap at the beginning, like talking
Yes.
about like how much like he thought he should be dead.
Yes.
Maybe he just went after him and took him out himself, and they just haven't showed that.
Yeah.
So that was the only other thing I was thinking maybe happened. But I also feel like they would have been better at covering up their tracks than leaving a huge piece of Beskar like that.
I think Ralph was going to mention this, but in the first season, the Empire has a boatload of Beskar.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Werner Herzog had the whole ice cream bucket full of it.
yeah,
and in season 2, the Ahsoka episode, we also see the spear of Beskar being wielded by the person who, Ahsoka is asking about Thrawn. Same person.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is there, Beskar, Thrawn, Empire? Boom.
Yep.
Yep. Mind blown.
Carl Weathers isn't innocent either, so let's not rule him out.
Ooh, thank you, Dan, for pointing this out, Mr. Crispex. Because I did want to bring this up. R5D4, one confirmed rebel hero, because we thought maybe it was just a bunch of BS.
Oh,
Really?
Right on
Disagreement
cue.
right there.
Well
Does
done.
not agree.
Uh,
That's a hard disagree.
I agree.
She did not
but-
like R5 doing that.
But R5 basically blew up their spot for some reason. Like, is he just like has casual chats with Paul Sun Young Lee's character,
Well,
Carson Teva?
I mentioned this in our show last night. In Bad Batch this season, when their ship gets stolen, they're able to find it because of a droid that's on the ship. They just like put his certain code into the radar, and it's like, oh, he's over there. So if you have that, whatever that code is, you can just track a droid anywhere in the galaxy.
Okay.
Nice connection there to Bad Batch, which finished their season strong.
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it. So no spoilers.
Sorry.
We'll get to it.
Okay. Saying that
They
it
were
was
dead
strong
the whole time.
that I liked it.
I don't even want to know that you liked it. Okay.
Season 2 was a dream season.
Oh God! You ruined it. You ruined it.
It turns out they're a good batch.
I know that.
That might be my favorite dad joke so far.
Kayla has unfortunately she's at Disneyland and she missed out on the probe talk earlier. So
It was
Go
so
to
much
Droid Depot,
probe.
get a probe.
yeah, it's actually Kayla. You can let us know in the Droid Depot. Are there already R7 probes available in the gift shop? We'll wait for your answer.
We're not talking until we get one.
Yeah, I was just gonna wait here.
Wait.
I don't know what part of the park you're in. You could be in Fantasyland or something. You just gotta book it to.
Could be on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride right now, but
Kayla-
closed.
She's all the way
Kayla's always
over
in
on
Fantasyland.
the emotional whirlwind over in California Adventure. Like, completely
I
other.
need to go to California. I haven't been to California Adventure since the Cars Land. Like I need to get over there. Anyways,
Charlie Weaver makes a good point in the chat I mentioned last night as well about Boba Fett.
go ahead and read it.
Oh yeah.
I'm just putting this out there. Remember when Boba worked for the Empire? I think we would. There'll be plenty of Mandalorians that would work from off, especially if they don't like the cult changes.
Ooh,
But-
okay.
My thought was maybe Boba Fett did this. Maybe he's sick of Rancors and goes back to his ways.
Man, so
Right.
Boba turns bad that quick?
well, what if he just got a mission? Well, he's just gonna he needs.
He worked for the Empire. He broke good. He's a good guy now.
Okay.
One tour with the Tusken Raiders does not make you good. Okay.
I mean, a lot of people would be happy with that because people didn't really like how just like he's a good guy now, a straight up good guy, not like kind of a anti-hero good guy. Okay.
He's done like 11 minutes of footage in the original trilogy and said like 3 things. Like, who cares? Sorry.
He's a great action figure, and that's the only reason we care about him.
Right.
He was easily defeated. Let's just say that.
So, any final thoughts here before we go to screen memes? I'll let our guests speak first for final thoughts. Mike, then Mark.
Oh man, on the spot.
Thoughts.
Like I said in the beginning, I like that this kind of I felt listless for the first couple episodes. Not that I didn't like them, but they renewed a focus, which made me happy. And the dead ship and space scene, I loved. I just did not expect it. Haven't seen it in Star Wars before. That I think.
Yeah.
Stumbling upon that ship just floating there, I was like, that is just an awesome scene.
Yep.
It's like Aliens. It's like the beginning of
Totally
Aliens.
like Aliens.
Yeah.
Or a Star Trek's Firefly, something like that for sure. Mark, final thoughts.
I was just very happy to see Zeb in this episode being a big fan of Rebels, and then that it was confirmed in both the credits that it was Steve Bloom as well too.
Yeah.
And then all of Star Wars social media not caring if anybody hadn't watched it in the first 24 hours and be like, yes, Zeb was in the episode. That was him.
I was pissed about that because it just appeared on my news feed. I wasn't even on social media, but there was an article with his picture, and I was like, come on, you can't wait 24 hours to put a picture of him out there, in a news article. I wanted to see it, and it wasn't even explained in the headline, but you saw it in the picture. You're like, well,
We need a Mike Ehrmantraut version of Boba. I agree.
Can I gotta say, I am not my Zach, who's almost 9, is a better Star Wars fan than me, because at first I was like, oh, it's the same species as Zeb. That's cool. And then Zach was like, no, he's from Rebels. That's the guy from Rebels. And I was like, is it? And I was like, oh, it is him.
Yeah, I was
especially when you heard his voice too.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. But I was kind of watching, not watching. Like I missed it.
Yeah, I was that husband last night when I was watching with my wife Kelly, and I was like, wait, is that Zeb? I was like, holy crap, that's Zeb. And I leaned over. I was like, Kelly, that's Zeb. He's from Star Wars Rebels. She's like, cool.
Not
Go away.
It was just so nonchalant of like a cameo, just like he's there in the bar. It's like, good luck. the new Republic sucks. Good luck.
They're all about the blue color. So
Yeah.
Blue Squadron's back.
But anyway, all right. Ralph, you have the floor. Mark, you got your final thoughts, right? Yeah, we got your final thoughts. Okay, good.
Oh,
all right.
good.
Ralph, final thoughts.
I thought it was a really, really well done episode. I believe Peter Ramsey directed it. Mark, yeah, and he's. I mean, he did Spider-Verse, I believe. Right?
Yeah, he's doing Ahsoka, and he did Into the Spider-Verse.
I mean, that's good. That's good stuff. And as far as Zeb goes, like I thought it was Zeb immediately because I was under the impression that all of what is it, Lestat or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
I was under the impression they were like all of them were dead. Like they all died off. And he was the last one. I know. I forgot about that. But when I was watching the episode, I'm like, oh, cool, Zeb. He just kind of wandered in. They didn't do a big fanfare. He didn't like walk into the door. He wasn't backlit. You didn't hear his voice. Like he just like literally walked into frame and started talking. And I'm like, what is happening right now?
So casual with it.
Both me and Stevie just yelled at Zeb. And it's funny how so now we have Zeb. They're introducing Zeb in this so that people who didn't watch Rebels can kind of get used to that character the same way they did with the Purrgil in like what was that, episode 1 or 2. They're slowly dropping in this weird stuff from Rebels, so that has to be in Rebels.
Yes,
just so people can get acquainted with it.
Yeah,
and
agreed.
He looked great. He sounded great, and now I'm really fired up for that Ahsoka show because contrary to popular belief,
you famously hate Rebels.
I love Rebels, and it's for me like it's leaps and bounds above any of the other animated series, because the characters are so good.
Really good.
Nothing against like Anakin Skywalker or Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I mean just the
core
Ghost
character.
Crew. Yeah, but the Ghost Crew was like created for that series for the most part. And then it's nice to be able to just focus on new characters, and I just kind of fell in love with Rebels, and so seeing Zeb was like it looks how he should look, and I'm hoping in the future we get Zeb hanging out with Chewbacca.
Absolutely.
Because that would be amazing. Because Zeb was the original concept for Chewbacca.
Yep, as Charlie Weaver said here. BTG, well, Jay, you did think that Sabine was Bo's sister. No, I said Satine.
I thought you said Sabine. I thought you said Sabine. I know the difference between Satine and Sabine. I do.
I said Satine.
Look, I was tired. I didn't want to do this podcast to begin with. I got in at the last minute.
Whoa! This isn't the Ramblecast After Dark. What are you saying you didn't want to do?
I didn't cuss.
Matt, final thoughts on this episode.
My final thoughts are, I don't care who Satine or Sabine is. Okay,
it doesn't matter.
I saw and watched and fell in love with Rebels way before Ralph. Way before Ralph. And only I can gatekeep that. Only I can love it. And that's my final thoughts for this episode. No, I liked this episode, and I just want to circle back to the one moment, that scene where we get Tim Meadows and we get that like tense moment where you're like, no, don't. She's bad. Don't.
Yeah.
And I loved the tension of that because it paid off on all of the stuff before.
Right.
Even all of the dumb training stuff at least had a payoff because all of these warriors were ready to fight, ready to kind of claim their place on New Navarro or whatever, or Navarro. So that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Forrest Gump reference.
What's that, Ralph?
Another Forrest Gump reference. That's all I'll say about that.
What about saltines?
Didn't get to them. I don't know which clan they're in.
Rebels
Clan
characters are
Cracker.
good as long as they don't fight dragons, right, Ralph?
Listen, we only get 8 episodes of Mando every couple of years. When 3/4 of your episode is fighting a dragon, it's like, come on, guys, we've been waiting for something.
Agreed. Yeah, it's very Hitchcock for sure, Charlie. All right, it is now time for screen memes, or as we're calling them this season of The Mandalorian, Meme DeLoreans. And for our special guests, if you don't know what we're talking about, every single episode we break down some of the favorite memes from this episode of Mandalorian, and per tradition, Matt reads them because he thinks this is still an audio only show.
I still do. I pretend for a moment that this is audio only. And we learn all of the different.
He does not. What we've learned is he has never watched SpongeBob SquarePants, so he doesn't get any of the SpongeBob.
None of those. There are certain holes in my knowledge of media.
But I'm going to put in the
Whose
chat.
sister is who? SpongeBob.
I know whose sister's who. Okay.
I put the link to our memes post in the chat. These are all Colleen this week as Kayla was out Disneylanding it up. But I'm sure there's probably still some Lord of the Rings things in here.
Yeah, where's Kayla's like 13 minutes from me right now.
Yeah, like she didn't want to hang out with you. I think that's pretty messed up. All right, chapter 21 of Screen Memes for season 3. Pirate. Rebels fans be like, Zeb, he's back.
Wait, that's from Harry Potter, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so the top one is from the episode we just watched, and it's got Zeb, right? But then the bottom one is from, I assume it's when the Voldemort comes back, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's the audio explanation. Oh, another Harry Potter one.
The snitch.
It's R5.
That's a good one. I like that.
Oh god! All right, Bo-Katan be like, "Look at me, I'm the Mandalorian now."
Nice.
Now, what is that picture that it's on top of?
It's the from
Captain Phillips.
Yeah, Captain Phillips.
Okay.
He's the captain now.
Okay.
Tom
Okay.
Hanks.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't know why this guy's here. He hasn't seen the season yet. He came over to watch my kids on Wednesday, and he was like, "I haven't seen it. Spoiler alert!" As I was watching it, getting ready.
Did you tell him Zeb was in the episode and he just stared at you like a
he is
dumbfounded,
definitely
like not knowing?
Which, yeah.
Next up, I know you're supposed to do jokes in threes, whatever. Han Solo be like, "Well, now I will shoot first." Go ahead, Matt. Explain this one.
Okay, so the bottom image is a Han Solo face on top of Leonardo DiCaprio from that
Once Upon
Quentin
a Time.
Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, thank you. You guys can explain it faster than I can try to remember and talk at the same time.
Okay.
And the top one is Salad the Hutt, who died.
Salad the
Salad the Hutt.
And they use their inside voices too. Mandalorians are arguably the greatest warriors in the galaxy. Also Mandalorians. Okay, quiet. I have the talking stick.
I don't know what that's from, but it's
Yeah, what is that from? I don't know that one. Anybody? Kids. Is that
That
Daddy
looks
Daycare?
like cheaper by the dozen or something.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, that makes sense.
Hidden on the Mandalore.
I like it because it's a clown car, but all the clowns have Mandalorian faces.
Oh man. We got the great Lucille Booth quote here. Here's some money, go see a Star War. When all the citizens of a large populous city gather together after the prior attack on Navarro. There are dozens of us. See, I was right in that thought.
That's good. From Arrested Development too.
Yes.
That's Bluth, or one of the Bluths.
Never knew.
No,
Yes.
Tobias.
Never knew.
Tobias.
Tobias.
Yes.
Bukente. See, I don't even know. He's
Never
Sabine's
watched this show either?
Have you seen Arrested Development?
I have seen it.
Okay. Just making sure.
This week's mildly risque meme: when the armor leaves her helmet on. So no.
You sure Kayla wasn't involved with this?
I think Colleen's just trying to fill in that gap
for Kayla,
so to speak.
I don't know what that means.
She's just being boy.
It's the
The
Hannah
Mandalorian
Montana.
spoilers without context. The best of both worlds.
That's really good.
Oh God.
Because it refers to she walks two worlds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, or the world between worlds.
Stop it.
Oh, God.
It's really
Besties.
weird.
Friendship ended with Din. Now the armor is my best friend. I like how it's like so generic, like just crossed out and
Yeah. It's like really bad MS Paint.
right now.
MySpace, isn't it?
Right now,
Those are
Colleen's
the
like,
good ones.
I made this.
The teenage girl thing, right? That joke.
Worst person. Good point. Paz. Why should we help him? Paz. Because we're Mandalorians.
Din. Link. Yes.
No, it's the the gif of the really. BTG. Hey Matt, I've never seen Arrested Development. Don't let them bully you.
I've seen it. I watched the whole when it watched.
You can be honest with us, man. You can be
Nobody
honest.
watched the
Did.
whole Arrested Development.
Yes, I've seen
That's a
it.
lie.
all.
We all
I just
stopped.
watched
We
it.
all stopped after the Netflix
Oh,
first season.
okay.
The narrator's daughter is
That's-
directing next week's episode.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh.
She's in the final season of Arrested Development.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
She's also
I didn't know
Yaddle.
that.
oh look,
She's
they
also
have
Yaddle.
a
They will
statue.
rebuild R5 IG88.
Yeah.
He's still alive though.
Babu Frick's got him on life support.
I'm thinking we're still gonna get an IG8
I
or
think so,
IG11.
too. I think so too.
Maybe he shot up Moff Gideon's ship.
Oh, stick
Awkward.
IG-11s.
All of us. I
Um,
can't wait until Din commandeers Gorian Shard's Corsair.
The ship.
Yeah, it's a shit.
Dave Filoni. By the way, that's one of my favorite Michael Scott moments when he bites his lip like that.
It's a great one.
It's so awkward and weird. Good
And
stuff.
that concludes this edition.
By the way, the clown car was my favorite.
I like the snitch one. That was
the Stitch
great.
one's great. The Stitch one's great.
Ralph, which was your favorite meme?
The one that looked janky with the X's in it.
Mark, you have a favorite?
Uh,
Don't put me on the spot.
I liked the I'm the Mandalorian one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Again, thank you for Colleen for putting those together. And that will bring in close to this episode of reactions to The Mandalorian Season 3. Again, you can find the Holdo Maneuver podcast on this link I just put in the chat, youtube.com/@HoldoPod. You all, how often do you both cut? Like, is it every week or whenever there's Star Wars shows to talk about? Like, what's,
Right now,
what
it's
can people
weekly.
expect from your channel?
Right now, we're doing weekly because Mando is weekly. When there's no Star Wars shows, it's every 2 weeks.
Nice.
What
And
makes
are
it-
you like Ralph? Do you have this whole thing where like you hate animated Star Wars, or can you talk about any Star Wars?
Any Star Wars.
I mean,
We talked about the Christmas special, so
and I do an animation podcast too. So
Me and Jay with my co-host James did a full running commentary
You did.
nice.
of the holiday special with Jay seeing it for the first time. I think both of you
Oh,
guys
wow.
were seeing it for the first time. Yeah.
It was my first time.
Wow.
It was Jay's first time.
What? How was that? Where do
It's
we watch that?
I don't
What can we-
remember.
YouTube.
LiveActionStarWars.com. I don't even think you put it on the front page though, Ralph. I kind
I
of
was
feel
trying
like
to plug it for you. See? I was like trying to get that bonus.
no, Ralph is kind of bitter about it now. He like almost passive aggressively won't even say it anymore.
Oh, yeah. So it turned out just like the holiday special.
Yep. Burn it to the
Right.
ground.
But yes, at Holdo Pod. Again, links in the chat, put a link in the description as well. Oh, look, perfect. Already sub. Yeah, please go give them a sub and check out their show. Ralph as well. Not only do you have live action Star Wars, a very awesome
Ton of stuff.
channel dedicated to Star Wars. You do a lot of things. You find all those at casinoskunk.com.
Yep.
But the cool thing you're doing right now is Getting Lost, a documentary about ABC's Lost.
It's a feature-length documentary about the television show Lost that we're releasing on its 20th anniversary from the director of the last blockbuster.
And you can follow. What's the socials for that one? Is it all at Getting Lost?
Getting Lost Doc.
Getting Lost Doc. You can follow those socials, and you're posting a ton of updates from that. You just did an interview with Eric Lang, who played what was his character's name again?
Brzezinski.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
He's currently and has been on the Perry Mason show, which I'm excited is back.
The Perry
That
Mason
dude is
show.
awesome, by the way.
Yeah,
That dude is awesome.
Good dude.
Eric's
He was at the
great.
finale party.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the anyways, I'm really excited for it, Ralph. You showed Matt and us a sizzle reel.
Oh, yeah. Last week.
Yes.
Did I show Mark? Mark, did you see that? No, you haven't seen it.
Maybe you can show it to
I'll
them
have to get
afterwards.
you.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I'll have
dip
to
out of
get
here
you.
because I'm tired tonight. But
Yeah.
you can show them. I want to go to bed. But Mark and Mike, thank you so much for coming hanging out.
Thank
with
you
us
for
tonight.
having us. It was a great time.
Sorry we had to
Thank
like move it around, but Colleen like shoehorned me and like taking me to this event on Wednesday night, and then like
Hey, don't blame your wife.
her
Yeah,
fault.
she's in the chat.
Yeah, and she knows it's her fault. She knows I don't like going out and doing sociable things. And what did she do? She made me.
You're just trying to let the listeners know.
I can
hey,
understand that though too.
And that's happening next week, right?
That is also happening next week as well. Even though actually I'm for this one, we're gonna go see Les Mis. My first time seeing Les Mis on stage, Les Miserables. So that
I
would be
always
next
call it
Wednesday.
late miserable. So,
I call it lame Israelable.
oh,
Spoiler alert: there's some bread that's stolen.
I thought Wolverine was in that.
I like that Matt doesn't get plugs.
I don't get plugs.
He doesn't need him. He still has a great head of hair.
Yeah, he's got a full head of hair.
Hey,
Hey, easy.
Ralph and I will do something.
I have great. We have great faces of hair, but not head
Yeah,
of hair.
exactly. Both Mark
Yeah, I
and me
can't.
have
I can't do anything about the beard thing. So
fantastic
Good on
beards. Like I feel like Mike and I are kind of doing similar. Like we
Yeah.
have facial hair.
It's
not as
there,
good as-
but
yeah, it's
just
not
like,
as good as.
nah.
It's because our face doesn't have to compete with our scalp,
That's right.
so all of it just goes to the face.
Slid down. It's gravity.
That pipeline got cut off, so it just.
Oh my god. But anyway, Matt, where can people find your stuff?
I make art from time to time at everyday_inventors. I'm on Instagram and TikTok until they get banned. So I also do a show called RCAD sometimes that's explicit. We talk about all sorts.
Why are you promoting that crap?
Because I actually am on that. I'm on that show. You know.
Why are
You're just
you
doing it
actually
'cause
on
they give you a
that?
hard time for doing this show, and I just feel.
I walk two worlds.
We're so loving to you and
Yeah, like we
and
do nothing but nurture you, and
yeah.
all they do is
Respect
crap on
you.
you. Yeah.
I walk two worlds. Anyway, that's where people can find me. So
Speaking of cults that hanging around too long for, check out RCAD whenever the hell they do it. But anyway, everybody, I hope you have a great weekend. See you Sunday for Toy Geeks. Got a lot of things to talk about there, and coming up soon on the main channel.
He left.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to the world between
he
worlds.
literally just unplugged something, but he
was
reached over for something.
he's
So it's
gotta
going to
stop.
take a little while for him to get back, I'm assuming. So let's talk about this show,
How
live
do I
action
do
Star Wars.
that? I don't even know how I
Oh.
hit the goddamn thing. Wait, Ron.
Oh, there we go.
Matt, son of a gun. Here we go. Wait, make me big.
I thought you were good at using the computer with one hand.
Other hand.
The Spin Masters big 27-inch Batwing from the upcoming Flash movie.
Spoilers.
So good.
It's in the trailer. Come on, I can't
Wait,
talk about this.
Batman's in it?
Yeah.
This is a really fun toy. Even though, so Alex really he was excited by the box. I was like, all right, you can open this up with me. We'll open it together. And spoiler alert for the review, it was too big for him to really play with. He was like, I can't, man, my arm's getting tired. I was like, well, just like act like you're playing with it. I was like, I'm trying, and he couldn't. It was too big for him.
Poke your eyes out with that thing.
It's very pointy. It's very sharp. But for $40, it's not bad.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
Anyway, that's that. Everybody, take care, and until next time. Hold on, where's this ridiculous music? Hasta luego. And goodbye. Take care, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.